They've given Australian EV speed fanatics and would-be boy racers the incredible new MG XPOWER. Out now and available to order in Australia. Hi, I'm Roscoe, this is Amazing EV News, and we're coming to you from Sydney, Australia. First saw the MG4 XPOWER at the Goodwood Festival of Speed, where they put it through its paces in typical English weather. We weren't sure at that stage if it was ready for production or even coming to Australia. And now, hot on the heels of its slightly lesser siblings, it's here and it's available to buy right now in Australia. We only recently covered the launch of the MG4 in Australia, with the range starting at around about 41,000 here in New South Wales. It was already lauded in Europe and the UK before its arrival here, and in its first full month in October this year, it's already recorded 751 sales, jumping to 4th in the EV market overall. Let's go onto the Australian MG website and see what's so special about this amazing new MG4 XPOWER. But I can tell you one thing, it's cheaper, faster and more powerful than the Golf R, and that's incredible for an EV. XPOWER. We've jumped onto the mgmotor.com.au website and it's flicking through the current range, but let's just jump back to that MG4 XPOWER again. It does look fantastic in that green. And all the trim, the brand new wheels, of course more power, more handling, better performance. They've really gone all out to distinguish this one from the mainstream MG4, which in itself is a pretty good looking car. If we scroll down, you can see there's the full range of MGs here in Australia, and they've given the XPOWER its own model category, so it stands apart from the normal MG4. The XPOWER's got its own model. So let's just jump straight in and get into the XPOWER Configurator and see what we get. And this amazing video presents itself to us with really detailed close-up pictures of the treatment that they've given it. Wheels, brake calipers, front skirts, side skirts, rear skirts, and that beautiful colour. That's the presentation colour, that's the delivery colour, that's the fanboys press colour. I like it, I think it looks fantastic. Scroll down. MG4 XPOWER blends European artistry with cutting-edge engineering with an impressive 320 kilowatts of power and 600 newton meters of torque. That's power. That's a lot of power for any small car. So let's just see what that translates to. 3.8 seconds for 0 to 100. Just absolutely outrageous with 18-inch alloys, especially for the XPOWER. So they have gone all out. Don't forget though, MG has a proud heritage of small, sporty cars. The MGB and the MGB GT back in the 60s and 70s. I mean, I had a teacher who had one, and despite him bemoaning its reliability, he said he had incredible fun driving it all over Europe through rain and shine. So this perhaps in some way carries on from a heritage that is already in existence with MG. Certainly a new direction and a new future with electric EVs. Down to the features and overview on the MG4 XPOWER page. The range is the range of cars, not the range of the vehicle itself. And then book a test drive. And we are in Sydney, New South Wales, Australia. Any pricing you'll see here is for Australia. New South Wales, each state in Australia has different pricing based on delivery costs and dealer deliveries. So what you're seeing here is pricing for Sydney, New South Wales, Australia. And MG still has a dealership model whereby you'll get all the information you like and check out all the specs online. You can book a test drive directly back through the dealership though. Our local one here is in Alexandria in Sydney, and you would conduct the final purchase there as well, not online. So it's still a dealership-based model. Moving down to some of the features here in these images. And we've already seen a lot of images of this car, but look, it impresses at every angle. They've retained the roof spoilers and the hatch spoiler there as well. The side skirts get more of a pronounced graphic, and I like the wheels. The wheels are really nice. That's a nice design. Not too aero looking, but stylish. Brake calipers, the orange metallic brake calipers, that's the real feature of this car. Agile design, they call it. The most powerful MG yet. There's some details on the wheels and tyre package there. Bridgestones, so they've really upped the spec on the tyre there as well. Lower profile Bridgestones. much better handling. Certainly up the spec on the interior as well. It looks like Alcantara with imitation leather or leatherette there as well, but that looks really nice with that red stitching. Not sure about comfort, but yeah, the base models on the Excite were pretty standard cloth, but that looks nice. Wireless charging, as you'd expect. This is what it's all about, how dynamic it looks, how sharp, how agile, and how they've tidied up, and how they've really enhanced the features there on the front spoiler, or the front splitter as some call it. So some real work done in here, and the air intakes, and down the bottom in the front diffuser as well. I think it wrecks really well. It's one of my tests. If a car standing still looks like it's going fast, or even moving in this case, then I think it's really, the designers have done their job. So they've turned a pretty normal little hatchback into something that's, well, it's a hot hatch, there's no doubt about it. That's the full summary of features. Moving down to the MG Pilot, which is the high-end range of active and passive safety features that the vehicle has. That's included, and then we move down to the actual range itself, which comprises in this case one car. Unlike the MG4, which we covered a couple of months ago, this one, the XPOWER, is just one vehicle with one combination. So effectively the range, it's a range of one. We're looking at state of New South Wales, so we'll load those pricing and details in there. And the colour scheme defaults back to the base colour of white, Dover white. And these ranges, Brixton metallic blue, diamond red metallic, black pearl metallic, and the chat person's there just in case we need them at any time. Volcano orange metallic, Camden grey metallic, and sterling silver metallic. They're all base model MG4 colours. The real treat here is the Hunter Green Satin Premium, which is the show car, display car. That's $1,000 more, and look, I think it's worth it, to be honest. Not many cars can do green. It's not British racing green. It's a very interesting satin premium. That's going to be our choice. You can keep the rest of your colour range for the lesser MG4 models. As good as they are and as nice as they are, we're going to go to the satin green. Hunter Green Satin Premium, an extra $1,000. So it takes our base model price from $61,736 drive away to $62,736 drive away. This is where it starts to get very, very interesting. 600 Newton meters of torque, all-wheel drive, 64 kilowatts of battery, and the best details are really hidden away in this list of pretty much random specifications, unfortunately. 0 to 100 in 3.8 seconds, which is supercar, absolute supercar territory. And I've got a couple of other models up on the screen now, just by way of quick comparison of what we're talking about when we say 3.8. Because as we said in the introduction, this car is cheaper than a Volkswagen Golf R, it's more powerful than a Volkswagen Golf R, and it's faster than a Volkswagen Golf R. And that's its direct comparison. A hotted up hatchback, normal run-around family hatchback, that's its direct comparison. So it's beating the Volkswagen Golf R by over $15,000 in direct price comparison, and coming in well ahead of it in terms of absolute performance. Now, we haven't driven this one. We haven't driven a Golf R recently either, and I can't tell you what the direct comparison in terms of dynamics or race or driving are on a track or on the road. But on the outright statistics, it's an incredible package that they've put together, and it's proof in point that already electric vehicles are, if not comparable, better than the comparative ICE vehicles that have had a long, long time to develop their skills, and here they are already producing something like this. So yeah, we're excited. This is just a giant step forward in a car that's perhaps not necessary and not going to sell in volume, but it just goes to show what can be done and what will be done. Kudos to them as well. A cool name, there's no doubt about it. Kudos to MG for a very cool name. If we go into view the specifications in more detail, we go into a PDF, and I'll put a link to the PDF down below where you can go into the absolute detail. It's the old school brochure that you used to get when you used to go to a car dealership and pick up a car. Of course, MG have their own charging solution, but give us a call at any time. We can recommend a charging installer for anybody in Sydney or around the eastern seaboard of Australia. Formulate yours. And we're not going to start getting into comparisons with the rest of the range of the Excite or the Essence, the lower MG4 models. The next one down the range at $57,736 has 350 Newton meters of torque. Is only rear-wheel drive only. It's rear-wheel drive only, and it's got a 77 kilowatt-hour battery. So the XPOWER has given up a little bit of battery size. It's got 2 engines and massively increased power and torque based on the combined power of both those motors to get working together, which you're not going to have too many opportunities to really exploit. Range is also down a little bit as well, but I wouldn't say you're making compromises, but you're going for a more sporty, lightweight package. So the key stats here are the battery capacity of 64 kilowatt hours, usable 62.1, maximum power 150 plus 170 or 300 continuous is how they describe it. Same with the Newton meters of torque. They're adding the 2 power outputs of each motor, 250 and 300 to get the notional 600 that they quote. But again, the proof's in the pudding. 0 to 100 at 3.8. Top speed, I'd probably limit it at 200. They don't want to go too crazy. So type 2 charging, single phase, 9 hours. Again, not the fastest charger. Driving range 400 WLTP is what they're expected. Versus the long range Essence, which with the bigger battery, the 77 kilowatt hour battery, gave you up to 530. 400 is not unreasonable. Next step's to go ahead and book a test drive, and they'll take you through to a generic booking page or contact page, which will be sent through to your local dealership, or feel free to pop into your local dealership. Note the colour scheme here in the background is still that British racing green. They've still drawn on their heritage, and they've still drawn on the fantastic history of the MG brand. I've got to congratulate MG. They really have managed to reinvent this brand, going from a classic British sports car to a budget mini town car to a sports car. With some of the new offerings that they've displayed and highlighted, this seems to be a brand that is really going places, and we love following them and we love what they're doing. My name's Roscoe. This has been Amazing EV News, and if you need more information about this or any other EV, you can contact us at roscoe@amazingev.com.au.